welcome everybody to Brownsville Tech Live. It is our This Week in Tech episode, and it's episode number 5 or something like that. And tonight we've got our primary co host, Mr. Steve Rodriguez. He's actually not in town this week, he's somewhere traveling across Texas, saving saving us all from friend or foe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Dan, for having me on the show. I am currently out of town, but I got your message. I'm like, oh yes, I'll be on there.
Yeah,
And I'm out here. So what's
yeah.
new in Brownsville, Texas?
Man, not much. Just the same old, same old. I hope it doesn't get cold. Is it cold up in San
Apparently,
Antone?
apparently it's supposed to get cold, isn't it?
It's supposed to get cold. You
Well,
know, are you cold up there in San Antone where you're at?
right now it is a cool 60 degrees.
Wow, wow.
So
So,
nothing yet,
so have you
but
gone?
it's supposed to get colder.
So have you gone down to the Riverwalk yet?
Oh yeah, every night.
Yeah, every night.
Every night, man. You'll be surprised with the activity that you see. Yeah. Down
Especially,
here on the Riverwalk.
especially at Hooters.
Oh, that's by the mall. Yeah, hey.
Yeah, of
No,
course it
that's
is.
that's nothing. Hey, compared to other places,
Oh
that's
yeah.
nothing.
I mean, let me put it to you that this way. Those girls at Hooters are like nuns compared to some of these other places, especially around town here.
Yep. Yep. No. So right now it's actually 74, and in the morning it's supposed to be in the 50s.
Wow. Wow. So what have you eaten down at the Riverwalk?
I'll be honest with you, right? Like I found a local Whataburger,
Yeah?
right? I've been there. I found a local McDonald's. I've been
Yeah.
there. Hey. Cause I tried the hotel breakfast, and for 18.95, I'm like, no, it's not worth it.
Wow. So you're not getting
So
like a Donald Trump like breakfast for $18?
no, I'm not Donald Trump, sir. I'm
No.
not 45. All right, I'm not 45.
You know,
And
it's kind of funny because I do a lot of posts about food and I mention 45 all the time, and
uh huh, uh huh.
I was telling Annette the other day, I wonder if they know who 45 is when they see this. And
The average person might not, but the semi-average person will. So like,
the the
yeah,
the, the
yeah,
haters definitely will know who 45
yeah,
is.
yeah,
No
yes,
doubt about
yes,
that.
yes, 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 definitely.
But did you
And today I went down to Chipotle or Chipotle or whatever, however you pronounce it.
Chipotle?
A Chipotle, all right, LA. That's what I, dude. I'm not impressed.
So you couldn't wait until the one in Brownsville here opens?
I'm not impressed.
Ya le echaste mosca?
Hey, the only thing I'm happy about is they gave me a military discount, so hey, it wasn't that
Wow.
bad. All
So
right,
what
but
did you have at Chipotle?
the chicken barbecue, white rice and beans.
Wow. Wow.
That's it.
Wow. And how was
So but
the barbacoa?
the oh, it's good. All right,
Yeah.
but I think since I don't like spices, I think the beans were spicy.
Wow.
So yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, that's what I'm up here doing in San Antonio, Texas. Huh?
Wow.
Training, saving lives.
Yeah, I can imagine. So anyway, well, today the show is basically what we've talked about in the past. It is basically a show that talks about tech and what's been going on through the week. It's a little
Mm-hmm.
different from what we've done, in the past where we've settled on single topics.
Right.
But there's a lot of times what happens is that we actually kind of overlook a lot of other things that pop up by concentrating on one topic. So I've decided to kind of expand that a little bit and include a this week tech episode. I'm trying to figure out if we're still on Facebook or not. I'm seeing the thing move and move and move and move. I don't know. Something may be screwy with the internet right now, but that's all right. We'll just keep on
I
going.
don't know. What keep on going and see. Let me log in.
Yeah,
Right.
because I
And let
think
me see if I get a notification.
yeah.
I got nothing.
Huh. Well, the notifications is another issue, but yeah, so that's what the show really is about. It's about trying to cover as much as we can with regards to what's going on in the tech world. There's a lot of things, that we miss along the way. So let me go ahead and flip over to our virtual theater. It's a little different now with the Mac, with the iPad involved in the middle. So if you give me a second here, for some reason I'm losing
All
my
right.
mouse, and I'm not using a Bluetooth mouse. That's kind of weird. All right, so let's go ahead and let me flip over to the other screen here. All right, let's see here. Where are you, Mac? Where are you, iPad? Come on. Did I lose it? I know it was here somewhere. Can you see me on the other screen now?
I see you on the main screen.
Yeah, just give me a second here. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm connected. I wonder what happened to the AirPlay.
You
Oh,
didn't pay the bill?
no, I did. I had a I had a screen called iPad. To guess, I know why. Daniel. I tell you,
What did you do?
it's just that I forget things.
It's an old age?
Maybe, maybe my old age. I'm not that old, by the way. Somebody's birthday's coming up soon.
Yours?
Mine, yeah.
Yours?
All right.
Hey,
So,
you sure this is episode 5?
huh?
Are you sure this is episode 5?
I don't know what episode it is. I
All
lost
right.
track. To be honest with you, it's probably 6 or 7 at this point. Well, one of the things that I want to talk about is Ring is actually coming up with a cart cam, or came
Oh,
up with a
shit.
yeah. So now Ring's got a cart cam, and basically what it is, it's a camera for your vehicle for inside and out. It's a security device that combines a dual HD cameras with an LTE connection. So you'll be able to use it via your LTE cell phone service. So the car cam apparently was announced back in 2020 as part of a suite of automotive security products. And basically, it's compact. The camera unit itself has a 1.6-inch cube that's attached permanently to the mounting arm. And you can see there are the pictures. And it's basically kind of like a dash cam. It's got two HD cameras. It's got a 120-degree field of view, so you'll be able to see quite a bit. Um, it does. I'm trying to find. So there's a picture of what the dash cam looks like.
Wow.
Look at that. So as you're driving, you're going to be able to kind of, get that view. It's I guess it's a little better than the police dash cams that are out there today.
But I wonder if it has a SD card or if it's cloud based or what.
Well, let's see here. Look at that. It's a subscription based. It's cloud based. Yeah, so the service is $60 a month.
Woo!
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to figure out why somebody like you and I would need something like that.
Right. No, hey, it's $6. No, $60 per year.
Oh, per year. That's not bad.
Hey, read it right.
I know. Six
How much?
dollars a month or $60 per year.
That ain't bad, dude.
Yeah. And apparently it's Alexa compatible too. Yeah. So, it'll be interesting. I mean, I guess I'm trying to figure out what kind of application would the normal user need for a dash cam. I mean,
Well,
I
let me
could
tell you, dude,
I
a
could see a
dash
bus
cam
driver.
is very useful All right, especially nowadays that there's a lot of hidden runs out there. There's a lot of people that run stop signs. A lot of people that run traffic lights. So it is useful.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting, that some Ring would actually come out with it, something like that. That's pretty cool. Apparently there's, several dash cams. This dash cam is going to be $250. Jarman apparently also, it says here, is announcing their own dash cam. It's a 1440p camera, but theirs is going to be $400. You know, but I guess if you're a bus driver, hypothetically, you know, you could use one of those. You know how around here you have a lot of these so-called shuttle services that bring kids from across to come to school over here. You see them come over to IDEA and all these places. I could see them where they may need a dash cam. They're not per se commercial drivers. I don't think they're commercial drivers, right?
Well, hey, they aren't commercial drivers. However, we've been told to stay away.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so unless we want a political nightmare, all right,
Yeah.
with news agencies everywhere, all right,
Yeah.
stay away.
Because there's a shitload of them. You know.
Unfortunately, we're gonna be reactive instead of proactive.
Yeah.
All right. When and if something were to happen,
Yeah.
that's when we'll react.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I could see
So
also like there's churches out there that have fleets of vans and stuff like that they use on Sundays and Saturdays. That would be an ideal thing, to kind of
yes.
deploy. I actually use my rear camera. When I'm backing out, believe it or not, I use mine quite a bit. I don't think I can rely anymore on just me looking towards the back. In fact, I actually trust the camera more, the the rear cam more than I do my own instincts. So I don't even rely on it
Wow.
because I just don't. The only problem that I have is, and I don't know if you have the same problem, is when it rains or it gets really dusty. Well, the rear cam gets dirty. So like right now, mine is kind of like fuzzy, but that's because I need to clean it. Because even
Has it been
after,
raining or what?
I don't know. I mean, I went to the car wash like 2 weeks ago and it was fine, but now it got dirty, you know. Well, you know how it is. They're always fixing streets around here. But that's kind of
But you're
interesting.
paying for a subscription, right?
Not for my rear cam. That comes with the
No,
vehicle.
no, 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 for car wash.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So why don't you take your car every 2 3 days?
I used to. I just don't have time. I work too much. I work long hours.
It's me you're talking to, sir. All right,
No, I'm
stop
telling
lying.
you. Tonight is the first night that I can say that I got off when I'm supposed to get off. I didn't spend a minute later, and that was because I had my shit together today. So a lot
all
of
right,
times,
all right.
you know, but that's
Sure.
kind of cool in itself.
That ain't bad.
No, that's not bad at all.
When is the projected date? It's gonna be out. Do you know?
It didn't say. It didn't say. Have you done your taxes already?
Yeah, and the money's already spent.
Yeah. Oh my! Did you get it already?
No,
Oh, that's right. That's right. It comes in packets.
no. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, um,
That's
no,
right.
nobody's gotten their taxes yet because they have to wait till after the 15th
A February?
for the earning credit and the child tax credit and all that stuff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's posted on the IRS website.
Well, there's a good article here about the 7 mistakes that could get you audited, which is kind of interesting in itself. The first thing is that your return is incomplete, you know.
Right.
So that would definitely get you into an audit.
Hey, you have an ad on that page.
I
Get off.
know, I'm trying to get rid of it here. Doesn't respond to my touch.
There we go.
and then it says you messed up your math or other information. I mean, I don't know who does their taxes manually anymore. Who goes to the post office, picks up a book, and actually does them by hand. I used to have an uncle that actually did them by hand. And he not only did the easy form back in the old days, he did the long form. He knew how to navigate us
Wow.
around to do that. But I mean, I personally use TurboTax. I've been using it for like 7 years, 8 or 9 years now. I know a lot of people like to use H&R Block. You know, I used to own a tax prep business for two
Right.
years.
Didn't you have a tax business?
I did. I did. I didn't make any money though. No money, too many headaches. And then of
Hey,
course
that's a
you
good question. If you have a business and you have a loss and you report it on the 1040 easy,
no, you have to do the long 1040 with a Schedule C.
woo!
Yeah. Yeah. So you have to use the regular 1040. And then what you do is you do a Schedule C where you report your income and expenses. And of course, if your income is less than your expenses, then you have a loss. And there's different
Mm,
other things that you can do to include. For example, if you're like me that works here at home, you can have certain deductions for home office, which
right,
includes
right.
things like utilities and cell phone service and even your vehicle, for the most part. So
Wow.
there's things that you can do, but you've got to be extremely careful, with what you actually there's that crazy cough that you try to deduct and stuff like that. But yeah, I did it for 2 years. It wasn't 2 years consecutive. It was 1 year, and then the not the following year, but the year after. But I didn't have a whole lot of success, money wise, compared to some of my other relatives who make
Well,
millions.
it's not here, there in Brownsville. Um, some people have a market on it, and they already have their clientele that are faithful to them.
Well,
And
that's the deal. Over the long term, if you really think about it, a lot of people don't do their taxes or don't go to somebody to do their taxes anymore. They prefer to do them over TurboTax or H&R Block, especially because Block is free for the most part. And then, of course, you have all those millennials who just live and die by their phone. So they're not going to opt to go pay anybody to get their taxes. I mean, they don't even want to pay for an apartment. That's why they're living with their
right,
parents in the basement,
right. They're living in the basement.
Right, and they're eating at Chipotle every day because they're cheap.
Oh, it was alright.
Yeah, but you're far from being a millennial, so but the typical millennial's not going to want to do their taxes. So, yes, you're right. There's a lot of people here in Brownsville that are in business primarily because they're relying on old clientele. It isn't necessarily new clientele. And somebody like me that, a few years ago tried to get into that business, it was very difficult to compete for those clients because
Mhm.
new clients will not show up. The other thing is there's a lot of window shopping done. For whatever reason, these people think that they can get a different amount on a refund if they go place to place. They'll go over to Walmart and go to Jason. What is not Jason Hewitt? What's the guy's name? John Hewitt?
No, Jason Hewitt.
Is it?
Hewitt. Anyway, yeah,
Yeah, the guy. You know what I'm talking about. They sit out at
yeah,
Walmart right outside the
yeah.
checkout. They got somebody there with a little curtain and they're doing taxes. So they go there, right? And the girl does her thing and gives them an estimate. Okay. So then they walk over, they drive over, they find somebody else, and they start doing that window shopping. The problem is to even get them an estimate takes about an hour. So I used to not give estimates. It's either you're going to do it with me or you're not. I mean, if you're just going to window shop, just move right along to the next one who's willing to do it for you because to get a finite number, you're going to have to go through the process of asking the questions. And then as
Right.
you know, here in this area, we seem to practice obtaining extra kids, and then when you start asking the questions about social security numbers IDs, they balk about it because they're trying to find somebody who's going to look the other way.
But
And
my mother never asked me for that information. Why should you?
no, no, no. It's you can get in
Hmm.
trouble. You can get in trouble. You know.
No, la hija de mi madre de la vecina del primo, all right, never asked me for that information. Why do
uh,
you?
no, because it's you're supposed to. You're supposed to set everybody's uh, tax into a folder, and you collect driver's licenses and social
No,
security
you're doing it.
numbers.
You did it wrong, sir. That's why, all right?
I did it
La
the
hija de
legal
la
way.
madre del vecino de el papá del novio, hey, he did it right. So, hey, y él no me cobró nada, right?
Well,
Y
that's
tú, él
another
es
thing.
robar.
That's another thing. You know.
Ay,
But basically, here's another thing. You if you like I told you, if you're self-employed and you don't report your deductions, that's one way to get audited. If you claim too many business expenses or losses, that could be another possibility. If your charitable donations
yeah.
are outsized, that's an issue. You have undeclared income for those that don't report everything. That could be a possibility. I'm not sure how cash would. I don't think cash is much, but let's say you go out to the casino, you win a couple of $1,000s, and you don't report that.
Well, but that's they'll send you a 1099 or a
Yeah,
certain form.
I know, but some people try to get away without the 1099. You know, I also told you. I think we've had the discussion before in a couple of episodes when we were doing with credit. Is that you have to be careful when it comes to any bad debt. If your debt is forgiven, um, and you don't report that forgiveness, the IRS can come back at you. And basically, anytime a creditor forgives your debt, be it a credit card or whatever, if you don't report that, they'll come back and get you at the end of the year because they consider debt forgiveness income. Yeah,
Money.
money. So yeah, these are that's kind of interesting. But like I said, I've done my taxes, but I have not filed it yet because in fact, after we're done here with the show, I'm going to get back to it again because I had one more 1099 that I was waiting on, and I finally got it. I already knew the number, but because I didn't trust the number that I was given, I wanted to see it in black and white. I waited for the
Right,
1099.
right. It's a lot better.
It's a lot better. So,
Another one is the 1095A, the health insurance form.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
A
That's
lot of people don't have that.
well,
Hey,
what's funny about that form is that a lot of times, for whatever reason, the employers are very slow to mail that out. Um, you know, I've I filed without it. I have not that I haven't mentioned it. I've mentioned it, but physically having the 1095, I've seen it once or twice where my employer takes forever to provide that information. So
well, now on TurboTax, that is a question.
yeah,
And it asks you for the information of the 1095A.
huh? Well, I haven't gotten
And
to
if
the.
you don't have that information, you can't file.
Well, I haven't.
Unless you put that you don't have it.
Oh, well, I haven't gotten to that step yet. So
Hey, well,
you know,
I'm telling you, Jose, um, I was helping out, all right? And I got stuck on that question and
yeah.
said, "When are you doing this?" She's like, "Not till the first." Well, gotta wait till the first now.
Wow, wow. Well, on sad news today, Raquel Welch died. She was
Oh
82. I
no!
know. That's very disappointing. I mean, she was known as a legendary sex symbol in her day. Not that she was into anything bad, but her name was uh, Joe Raquel Tejada. She was born in 1940, and she was a big actress in the 60s and 70s. And I mean, she was quite a good-looking lady, no doubt about that. But yeah, she died. She died today. I can't remember. I don't think it was her that came out in Grumpy Old Men. I think it was Sophia Loren. But even towards 82, I don't know how old that picture was. She didn't look like 82 to me.
That's
Imagine,
in 2000. It says in the bottom.
oh, 2017. Just imagine having grandma look like that. Man, who wouldn't want to have a grandmother that looked like that? I mean, come on. I mean, grandmas don't look like that. You know, están todas jorobadas, ya viejitas, arrugadas. Pero esta no, mírala.
Dude, that's the benefit of having money.
No, now you're saying that she did plastic surgery.
I didn't say that, sir. I just said that's the benefit of having money.
I
That's
mean,
all I said.
how many grandmothers look like that at 82?
When you have money,
I mean, look at her. She doesn't look a day past 40.
when you have money, hey.
Ay, ay, ay. So it's a really sad day today for the world that we lost Raquel Welch. God
Well, it's
help
a
us.
really sad day because we had another shooting in El Paso. Did you hear?
No, I didn't hear about that.
At the mall in El Paso, right next to Walmart.
And who was it?
Apparently, three people died. They already got the suspect, and they're saying there's one more
Wow.
outstanding at the food court of all places.
Oh my gosh. That's one of the things that I've always worried about is, especially at public places like the food court or the movie theater, that something like that can happen. I mean, obviously, the other places that we know they've happened before is at churches. I mean, we had that
Yes,
situation a few years ago. But to this day, I know that a lot of priests and pastors are just not keen to having their parishioners bring in weapons, as
I'm sorry.
part.
It's what one dead and three injured.
Yeah. I mean, there's still a reluctance for the church clergy to allow their church parishioners to actually bring in weapons for protection.
You think you think the parishioners don't have weapons when they're in there? You gotta be
Well,
crazy,
there
bro.
there probably are some that do carry
Come on.
weapons. I mean, I'm a licensed, gun owner myself. I have a
Licensed or unlicensed, people are
no, I
gonna
know.
carry in those places.
Well, I
All
mean,
right,
I have
sorry.
my license and I have my gun, but to be honest with you, it's something that is up hidden somewhere in the closet. I've never had any desire to carry it with me. I'm afraid that one day the little safety thing will not be on, and I'll shoot. I'll accidentally shoot myself. In places I don't want to be shot.
It's a valid concern. All right,
Yeah.
a valid concern. You like, but the way you get out of that fear is by going to the range, practice, practice, practice.
Yeah, and I haven't really practiced in several years.
Okay,
And of
so
course, bullets are expensive. Even practice is,
yes,
yeah. I
yes
mean,
they are.
one of the
Yes they
reasons
are.
why I don't practice because the bullets are expensive. Every bullet is precious. I'd rather hold on to it when I really need it for that moment in time. But to be honest with you, I don't know if that is the solution. I don't know if arming teachers or arming parishioners or whatever is really the solution. I know that in conservative circles that seems to be a popular thing, but I'm not really convinced that it's the magic's. I hate to use the phrase magic silver bullet. I don't think it's the cure for everything. I'm not going to get into the topic about gun control, obviously, because
Right,
it's
right,
a
right.
really
That's
touchy subject.
another battle. All right,
Another
for another
battle,
day.
yeah.
But
But
at the same time, Dan, I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. All right.
yeah, the problem is when you start allowing the problem that you have with let's say the idea of having teachers armed is that there are some teachers that unfortunately don't belong being
Yes,
teachers. They've got some
but it's
psychological
not just teachers.
problems.
It's not just teachers, right? It's every profession out there, brother.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It's something that's really going to have to be looked at. It's just unfortunate that these kind of things happen out in the open. Uh, you know, quite a bit. I mean, when you and I were in high school, this was something that didn't happen. I mean, you had the occasional fist fight here and there, and most scores got settled outside. With a fist fight or two.
we
Yeah,
had shotguns in the back of the pickup truck, and that's where it stayed.
Well, yeah,
in the back of the pickup truck,
I know.
right?
Everything was handled with the fist fight. And I think that's part of the problem. I think maybe we should allow fights in school again so they can beat the shit out of each other so they get their energy out. I think that is not allowed. We're too protected, I guess now. You know, I don't know. It's just it was just different. I mean, we didn't have campus police if you recall in high school. We had these guys who thought they were monitors. They thought they were like these club monitors. They probably couldn't do anything, but you know what I'm saying?
Bouncers, but
Bouncers.
but there was a fear, there was a respect there.
Yeah.
All right. Regardless, you still respected them for whatever they would do, if anything at all. All right.
Right.
But we didn't know any better.
Right.
But getting back to that respect thing, dude, there's no more respect.
I guess not. You know.
All right. And that starts at home.
Yeah.
Respect starts at home.
Yeah.
All right. So that's all I can say on that. But yeah, there was one dead and three injured.
Well, that's not good. That's not good
Nope.
at all.
You know,
Well, on another note, changing the subject slightly, if I can get to it, hopefully the internet's still working. There's going to be a sequel to the Joker 2, and this
oh
time it's
wow.
Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix, believe it or not. And so,
Well, he was the Joker, no?
yeah, he was the Joker in the Joker movie, and
Yeah.
Lady Gaga is going to be playing Harley Quinn, and it's going to be kind of interesting to see how that goes. I mean, I liked it. I liked the movie. It was okay. There was somebody else. Was it in the Joker or was it in Batman? Oh no, which movie was it where the ending was where it closed at uh, what is it at Arkin Sanatorium? That wasn't the Joker, was it? That was somewhere else. I can't remember, but I think that was
Sort of.
yeah. But I remember seeing it. It's gonna be kind of cool, but yeah, I personally think he did a good job. In that. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix has always been kind of like a weird individual, but who could blame him? I mean, losing his brother, River Phoenix, so early to addiction and so forth. I mean, but the guy's a phenomenal actor. I mean, I remember my favorite for me, my favorite is when he came out as Commodus in The Gladiator. I mean, he did a phenomenal job there. So but yeah, it's kind of interesting. So, have you ever been to a Trader Joe's? I know there's a movement here in Brownsville to bring one here in
Trader
Brownsville.
Joe's.
Apparently, what it is, it's kind of like a budget grocer, but they don't. The way I understand it is they don't sell regular name brand products that we're kind of used to seeing. They don't sell Dole pineapple, or they don't sell Libby's, they don't sell, Kellogg's cereals. It's all their branded stuff. And apparently it's pretty popular. I mean, the people that go there are once again millennials, como no quieren gastar, they're attracted to Trader Joe's. But apparently, I think they have one in Austin. And as you know, here in Brownsville, we like to chase everything that happens in Austin. So, for example, like I said, they sell their branded stuff. That's my understanding. It's not necessarily organic stuff, but definitely they sell their stuff. But there's a movement here in Brownsville started by
Really?
by the current mayor to sign some kind of petition to convince Trader Joe's to actually set up shop in Brownsville. I mean, the grocery business in general, and I deal a lot with grocery store companies, it's very competitive business. It's very difficult to compete against HEB and Walmart these days. I mean, that's the reason why you rarely have too many independent stores like Lopez. Lopez used to have a ton of stores all over Brownsville, but it's very difficult to
Mm-hmm.
compete price level. If you go over to Lopez and you look for a can of beans, chances are you're going to pay double or triple what you normally would pay at HEB or Walmart, you know.
Yep.
So it's very difficult. And of course, the store format has changed quite a bit since when we were kids. I mean, when we were kids, it was just, it was just nothing but aisles, aisles of food and stuff like that. Well, now, you go to HEB, especially the one here in Paredes, the HEB Plus. Well, it's just not a food store. You've got your pharmacy, you've got a whole deli section to itself. You have this section where they make the pollos, and those all of those meals together. And then you've got the tortilleria in the back. Then you've got the clothes section now. And then for a minute, you could also get furniture. Keep in mind that it was kind of expensive to get furniture in those, you know, outfits that were there. I mean, you've got banks in there. I mean, it's not your old 1970s, 80s grocery store. It's very different. So, how can you compete? How can a mom and pop compete with that kind of stuff? So I don't know how it would fare well with regards to HEB and Walmart. It's very, very difficult. It's very, very difficult. So, I don't know. I just don't think there's maybe I'm wrong, but maybe the thought is because we have a lot of young people in this city. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that the majority of the average person in Brownsville is fairly young. So maybe they're kind of thinking that. I don't know. It's
I don't know. I don't know.
you know,
I don't see it. Maybe they might do well for a year or two, and then after that,
yeah.
I don't think they would make any
I,
money.
I just don't think they can really compete against HEB and Walmart. I mean, if
It goes back to that same thing, Dan. You and your taxes. All right, you and your tax service.
yeah,
All right, everybody's so used to going, especially the older generation. All right,
yeah,
to somebody doing their taxes.
right,
We're so used to going to HEB or Walmart.
yeah,
All right, well, we might pop our head in there to window shop that they did to you.
yeah.
All right, we're the new guy in town. They window shop.
Yeah, no sabe mucho. A lo mejor he'll make a mistake in our favor.
Right? And then when they see it, they have it, they go back to HEB or Walmart.
Yeah,
So that's just my opinion, though. Maybe I'm wrong.
yeah. Well, there's another interesting thing here. There was an article with regards to streaming. We've done several shows on all kinds of streaming.
Uh huh.
And the question in this article is streaming really cheaper than cable? And it was kind of surprising, believe it or not, because, when you do the math, and I'll be honest with you, I mean, when I do the math with regards to streaming, I'm almost on par with what I really paid before. I
I
mean,
think you're over it.
probably over it. In my case, I'm probably over it because, you know, I'm paying about $70, $80, give or take, for the internet. I don't have any cable channels, but I do have cable channels, but I get them through Sling. Well,
Uh huh.
that's another $60 right there because I didn't settle for just the blue package or the orange package. I had to get both the blue and the orange because initially there were some channels that I watched that were only available in the blue package. And then there were some that were in the orange package. So if I wanted to see what was in the blue, I if I wanted to see a channel in the orange, I couldn't because I was on the blue. So I said, nope, I guess I'm gonna have to subscribe to both. You know, so right now I'm paying that, and then of course I'm a subscriber to Netflix, and of course I've watched a couple of shows. In fact, the last couple of nights we've been staying up watching Manifest. I don't know if you've ever seen that show.
Yes.
Okay, so I've
Yes.
been watching that, and we kind of got hooked again. We started watching it, and then I kind of lost interest, and then we just started watching it again, and I'm still as confused as I was when I started watching it the first time around. So I watched that, and then I also subscribed to Hulu because my wife watches a soap opera, and of course I do too. So that's only available on Hulu for me. And then, of course, as you know, I'm an avid Star Trek fan, so I have to
Paramount.
Paramount Plus, so I have that. And let's
You
see.
have Disney?
Yeah, for my daughter, we have Disney. So once you add all those things up, you find out that you're probably paying on par what you were before or even more. And it is true. I mean, they went through the a little chart here, as you can see that, and I don't know what where these prices are at, by the way. I don't know what part of the country, but apparently these were averaged across 6 cities. And the basic cable TV and internet on average is $120. The premium cable TV and internet is about $196. And then basic streaming, if you just want basic streaming, no internet, I guess they offer that now. That's
How are you gonna
$32.
stream without internet?
I have no idea. I think what they do is they probably allow a little bit of an internet signal, but they block everything else, you know. So I think that's the way it works. I've been out of this cable business for about a year now, so I don't know all the tricks of the trade, but I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing. They're allowing enough internet signal to allow you to do some basic streaming. But if you wanted to go beyond, Netflix and Hulu and all those things, you probably can't do it. They've got a way of restricting it. And there are ways to restrict it, by the way. We've been able to restrict internet websites and stuff like that for 30 years now. It's not new technology. It's just that I can see how it's being employed now when it comes to breaking this down to a little bit of an affordable service for some people. But basically, they identified the costs, and these were the cities. In Houston, it's $60 for internet only, $120 for basic TV and internet, and then if you want premium, I'm sorry, it's $91. And then of course if you want premium, it's about 151. But then you just go down that's through Xfinity. Of course, Spectrum down there, as you can see in Portland, you're looking at over close to $200 just for internet and the TV. And then of course, they talk about the streaming service costs. You've got Netflix, which I guess used to be $10. I think it's 15 now. Hulu's
Yeah, it went
8.
up.
Yeah, Hulu's 8. Disney Plus is 8. HBO Max is $10. And by the way, I'm also an HBO Max subscriber as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, it's kind of interesting. It talks about what the average cable is. How much Philo. I don't know too much about Philo. I've seen ads. I don't know anything about them. But if you want basic TV, that's like $25. Sling, like I said, is $63.
This is $3 per month?
About $60 is what I'm paying for both the orange and the blue package
A month?
a month. Yeah. And then some people use YouTube quite a bit. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
and of course you've got Hulu Plus Live TV also, and even Direct TV out there's got their own streaming service as well. But you've got to factor in taxes and extra fees as well. Um, so that's kind of interesting in itself. But there's pluses and minuses, and I'm not here to say that it's going to necessarily be cheaper because it obviously isn't cheaper for me. But I do have a little bit of more freedom, with regards to what I want to watch. So that's kind of interesting in itself. But let's see, there was something else here. Oh, have you ever thought about doing these meal kits?
No. Remember, I'm very finicky in what I eat.
Yeah.
So no,
Well, some
no,
people
no.
some people believe it or not, that it's actually cheaper to actually go to buy these meal kits instead of going out to the grocery store and buying stuff individually to make the meal. I mean, I don't know how true that is. But basically some of these companies, they basically send you everything in a box for you to cook that meal. So they do it like on a daily basis. They'll send you, I don't know whether it's breakfast or dinner or lunch and dinner or whatever. But I used to know somebody that swore that it was cheaper. So for example,
How
there's
cheaper?
huh?
How would it be cheaper?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, the chart here indicates that it's slightly cheaper. The difference is that you get everything already prepped to make the meal. So, like the chart says, every plate, a meal for two is $7.48 versus going and getting those individual items at the grocery store, maybe $5.44. That's assuming you're getting the cheap stuff, right?
Right.
I mean, I can tell you right now when I've gone to the grocery, let's say I feel like I want to eat something tomorrow, right? And I have an idea. Well, a lot of times when I go to the store and I try to say I'm only going to get the stuff that I need to make for this meal.
Yeah, sure. That doesn't happen.
No, no, I've done it. I've done it. I've actually disciplined myself to do it. Well, let me tell you, after calculating it, it was probably cheaper for the three of us to go out to eat than having to do that meal.
Yeah, yeah. I believe it.
You know, so I mean, it's very possible. So I can see how these every plates may be cheaper. I mean, if you're a family, like we have kids, I don't think this works for us. Okay. But I think that if you're a single guy, especially a single guy who wants to be a little bit conscientious of what they're eating, you don't want to rely on fast food necessarily, then this might be a good thing for you if you want to cook. But these days, if you're a single guy, you don't have to opt like we did to go buy stuff at the fast food restaurant. I mean, you go to HEB, I kid you not. They have these things already prepped for you. Like the other day, I bought uh, for me and Annette, I bought these chicken tenders and fries that were already done. You just bought them. They're $5. You pick it up, take it with you. Last week, she stopped by HEB during lunchtime because they had barbecue sandwiches, brisket sandwiches for $5,
Well,
already prepped. You didn't have to go bust your tail to try to make this stuff or go to Rudy's and wait in the long line and pay the high price. And you know what?
Rudy's is $100. Hey,
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, it tasted just as good as Rudy's. Maybe it was just me and my mind playing tricks on me, but I found it worth it. So maybe for single guys, yeah, I mean, it may be worth it. I mean, these days, even if you go to Sam's, I mean, there's no excuse for anybody not to cook because there's a whole section at Sam's that everything is pre-done and pre-cooked for you. I mean, you don't have to do anything, you know. So I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but I had a friend of mine, believe it or not, that actually swore that it was cheaper for them to do it this way. Like they've got an example here: smothered pork chops with home fries and carrots. The carrots were a buck 50. The Yukon potatoes were another buck 50. 90 cents for the onions. The two scallions, the two pork chops, one packet of chicken concentrate, cayenne pepper, sour cream. A total of $11.13. Where the heck can you eat for two for that price these days? Not at McDonald's, that's for sure. You know? I don't know. It's just kind of interesting, but there are some people that swear by it, believe it or not. I mean, I haven't. I think I may have tried it once when it was like a freebie, but other than that, I don't know. So
no, I have.
gym memberships is another one. Believe it or not, I'm actually headed back to the gym again.
I thought you were canceling your.
Well, no, I decided what I did is I was able to move my membership from the Crunch over at Boca Chica over to the Crunch over here in Pablo Quisel. But I was paying like $10 a month over there, and they told me that if I wanted to come over to this gym, which is a newer gym, modern gym, the gym where all the uppity ups go, that it was not going to cost me $10 like back in the hood. It was going to cost me $16 a month now.
So, all right, time out, time. All right. So you're paying $6 more a month for a membership you don't use.
No, I'm going to use it. That's my whole point. I'm headed back to the gym starting next week.
That that's what you said 2 years ago.
Yeah, but that was because of the pandemic.
Okay. All right. So you're paying $60 more per year than you were paying last year, and you're going to the gym. All right. I want to see that.
Well, think about it. I'm going to be at a new gym over here with all the foofies. I'm going to be over here with all the foofies, and then I'm going to also. They've got a bigger set of what is it, treadmills, so I won't have to
This
fight
is
my
a
back.
family show, all right? So, hey,
I am. So at the treadmill, I'm gonna have plenty of treadmills I could choose from. They're not gonna be broken like the ones at the hood.
oh, really?
You know, acá voy a estar con. I'm gonna feel uppity up.
Hey.
So the
All
whole
right. Just
point
because you're
is,
paying $6 more a month doesn't mean you're going to be uppity to up. All right?
well,
So,
at least it's gonna
good
feel
luck.
that. At least it's gonna feel that way. But
Hey, good luck.
nevertheless, I'm not going to the gym because I want to feel uppity up. Okay, because
Oh, really?
I'm very poor. Okay, but here's the
Yeah. Well,
thing.
that's why you're paying $60 more a year.
you know. But I'm doing it for health reasons.
Oh, that's what it is. All
Yeah.
right.
So, but there's, they're talking about whether you should buy a Peloton bike or pay a gym membership. You know, and of
And what
course,
was the result?
well, your Peloton bike is $2,998 for the cheapest one. And a gym membership is $780 a year. So you're paying double, and like at Planet Fitness, it's $194 a year. But the difference is that unlike Peloton, where you have all these video enabled exercise equipment that you can do it on your own whenever you want to, you know, unfortunately with the gym you have to drive to a gym to kind of work out on lower class equipment. So,
Lower class equipment.
well, yeah, they don't have the video thingies in front where you've got an instructor giving you motivation to keep on, running or biking or so forth. That's where the Peloton comes in. I don't have a Peloton bike, by the way. It would be nice if I could afford one, but it appears that the gym is still a cheaper option. I mean, the other option, of course, is to go buy equipment and having it at your house. But as you well know, a lot of times that equipment ends up being nothing but modern day clothes hangers, and that's because I've done it all. I mean, I've had, you know, when I was single. Remember, I had when I lived in the apartment, I actually had a gym set that I never used. You know, um, whatever happened to that gym set? You did I sell it?
I have no idea.
Well, anyway, bottom line, I've had it all. I've had it in the house. I've gone to the gym. The only reason why I didn't go to the gym the last 2 years was because of COVID. Because I didn't want to.
Okay, but you were still paying for the membership.
I know. I was just giving money away for free. I was paying for the upgrades to the new one. That's what was going on.
All right. And now you're gonna pay even more. So, all right.
$6 more, sir. $6 more. But I'm gonna be up with the Joneses now.
All right. If you deem so.
Uh,
If you say so.
yeah. I don't know if a MacBook was released. I haven't talked to Doug in a few weeks, but I don't know if there. Do you know if a new MacBook Pro was released or not?
I heard rumors of an iPhone 15.
No, there is an iPhone 15 coming up in September. We know that.
Yeah. But nothing about the MacBook.
Yeah, yeah. So, as far as when will you get a refund for those people that are interested in that kind of stuff, if they're looking forward to that? Let's see here. Let's look at that since we're
Check it out.
Let's see. It tells you how to monitor your refund. We all know how to do that by now.
Well, where's my refund is the IRS website.
Yeah. let's see. Is there a chart? They used to publish a chart.
No, there's a projected chart that you can Google, but it's just projected.
Oh, no, it doesn't have it. Don't worry about it.
No.
So let's see here. But there's an article here that was kind of interesting, and it had to do with the same topic. Where was it? I just saw it. Where was it? Where was it? Where was it? Where was it? Did I lose it? Oh no, I gotta scroll down. The best free tax filing options.
Oh, well,
Of course, mine are never free.
right.
But apparently, there's some other companies. I guess one's called Free Tax USA. Cash App has its own
Wow.
service, but you know what happens there? Your refund goes to your Cash App card. Of course, you know there's TurboTax, there's TaxSlayer, and of course H&R Block. So apparently the best free is the free file by yours truly in the IRS.
There is.
And of course, they've got the Vita programs. And then they've got the Free Tax Alliance. I mean, even Cash App taxes came out on top. And of course, TurboTax, there's always a fee. And H&R Block as well.
Not for the free version.
Huh?
Not for the free version.
Well, like I said, if you have no deductions and it's pretty easy, then it's free. But in my case,
Right.
mine's never free. But that's kind of interesting in itself. But anyway, yeah, so today's show was a little different. Like I said, we've
Right.
done one of these before, but I think there's a lot of stuff that goes on during the week that we don't kind of cover. Not everybody's always interested in a single topic, as you know. So I decided to change things a little bit. We also did some upgrades, obviously, here to the audio equipment, so I'm curious to see after the show here how that all went out. But I'm really glad now because I can actually monitor the podcast directly versus having to go through the computer. As I told you, I was experiencing a delay, which caused a psychological effect to my brain, and this is not something that I'm making up. It's actually a real thing that exists in most people that are anchors, TV anchors on TV. It's called the delay effect that plays a certain thing with your brain that allows you to stop talking. So that kind of bugged me because it almost seemed like I was having some kind of problem speaking, but it wasn't that. It was how the delay in the audio that I was hearing was playing tricks on my brain to actually open my mouth. So now I don't have to worry about that. And I tried different things with the current audio equipment that I had, pushing the signals out in different directions to try to get them more live, but it just didn't work no matter what I tried. So I decided to bite the bullet and get the equipment I needed to avoid that delay, so,
Right.
there
Well,
may,
so far,
yeah.
so far, so good, though.
Yeah, so far so good, I'm curious to see. I'm still kind of iffy on how loud to have it. The loudness that I hear versus the loudness that ultimately is streamed and recorded may be different. So hopefully tonight I'll get some insight into how I have to fine tune it and so forth. So, but anyway, well, I'm glad you were able to come on. I know that, a lot of times you're busy and you're working sometimes at night. Sometimes you're not.
Right.
But, it was nice to have you on, especially since you're playing hooky from Brownsville.
Well, you know how it is. I had to save my wife for Valentine's Day, so hey, they just so happened that they submitted training. So
yeah.
hey,
But la vas a pagar anyway next week. Don't worry about it.
I know. Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
I'll send her some pictures of some new cars in case you want to dish out the cash for a new car for her.
Oh, no. None of that.
All right.
Thank you for having me on again. It's always a pleasure.
No
All right.
problem. We've got, for anybody watching, we've got a Starlink launch here. I believe it's going to be happening on the 17th. I don't know exactly the time yet. I'm hoping that the time is not at 3 o'clock in the morning because I've gotten to a point where I can't stay up to do those shows. So for any launches that happen between the hours of 12 midnight and 6 o'clock in the morning, you're gonna get a pre-recorded
Right.
stream because it's just impossible for us to catch each and every one. There is a possibility that next month we will have our first Starship launch. Probably the date they're tossing around is March 18th on a Saturday. So we may see Starship launch. They did have a few issues after the wet fire or the wet dress fire thing. It appears they've got to reinforce the concrete in the launch pad. For whatever reason, they did not have uh, water tubes in most of these launch pads. They have water tubes to cool down the foundation, and for whatever reason, I'm not sure why they didn't think about it. Um, they're installing that right now, so that may cause a delay. But I guess it's better to be safe than having a total meltdown on the launch pad next month.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, so
All right.
alrighty. Well, that was it for today's show. I thank my good friend Steve for being on the show. It's not going to be the first or the last time. It just depends on his availability. I know that Doug's anxious to get back on. He's
All right. So bring him on.
I know. Well, he wants to do his baseball stuff, and he was trying to wait until after all the Super Bowl hype came and went to actually have that. So we may see that show here come up maybe next week or the week after next, but we've got that. And obviously, we've got a couple Apple events coming up. So we'll be covering those as well. So,
Cool.
alrighty, everybody. So we will see you the next time we're on, hopefully in 2 days, with the Falcon 9 SpaceX live launch, probably out of Florida, I think, at this point. So we'll see you soon. Everybody have a good
Adios.
night. Talk to you later. Hold on 1 second here. I don't know what happened. I don't know if we lost the